Welcome back to Atomic Habits. I'm Chris, your physiotherapy student. Today we're covering the last part of Atomic Habits, Part 6, Advanced Tactics, how to go from being merely good to being truly great. We'll start with Chapter 18, The Truth About Talent, when genders, genes matter and when they don't. The truth about talent. Olympians would be mediocre should they have changed sports. The secret to maximizing your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. This is just as true with habit change as it is with sports and business. Habits are easier to perform and more satisfying to stick with when they align with your natural inclinations and abilities. Embracing this strategy requires the acceptance of a simple truth that people are born with different abilities. Some people don't like to discuss the fact. The strength of genetics is also their weakness. Genes cannot be easily changed, which means they provide a powerful disadvantage and advantage in different circumstances. The people at the top of any competitive field are not only well trained, they're also well suited to the task. The Big Five. Your personality is the set of characteristics that is consistent from situation to situation. The most proven scientific analysis of personality traits is known as the Big Five, which breaks them down into 5 spectrums of behavior. 1. Openness to experience, from curious to inventive on one end to cautious and consistent on the other. 2. Conscientiousness, organized and efficient to easygoing and spontaneous. 3. Extroversion, outgoing and energetic to solitary and reserved. 4. Agreeableness, friendly and compassionate to challenging and detached. 5. Neuroticism, anxious and sensitive to confident, calm and stable. How your personality influences your habits. Our habits are not solely determined by our personalities, but there is no doubt that our genes nudge us in a certain direction. Our deeply rooted preferences make certain behaviors easier for some people than for others. You don't have to apologize for these differences or feel guilty about them, but you do have to work with them. If you want to read more, don't be embarrassed if you prefer steamy romance novels over nonfiction. Read whatever fascinates you. You don't have to build the habits everyone tells you to build. Choose the habits that best suit you, not the one that's most popular. Habits need to be enjoyable if they are going to stick. This is the core idea behind the fourth law. How to find a game where the odds are in your favor. In theory, you can enjoy almost anything. In practice, you are more likely to enjoy the things that come easily to you. Pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. At some point, you need to make sure that you're playing the right game for your skill set. How do you figure that out? The most common approach is trial and error. What feels fun to me, but work to others. The mark of whether you are made for a task is not whether you love it, but whether you can handle the pain of the task easier than most people. When you are enjoying yourself while others people are complaining, the work that hurts you less than it hurts others is the work you are made to do. What makes me lose track of time? Flow is the mental state you enter when you are so focused on the task at hand that the rest of the world fades away. This blend of happiness and peak performance is what athletes and performers experience when they are in the zone. It is nearly impossible to experience a flow state and not find the task satisfying at least to some degree. Where do I get greater returns than the average person? We are continually comparing ourselves to those around us, and the behavior is more likely to be satisfying when the comparison is in our favor. When I started writing at jamesclear.com, James's email list grew very quickly. James wasn't quite sure what he was doing well, but he knew that results seemed coming faster for him than for others, which motivated him to keep writing. What comes naturally to me? For just a moment, ignore what you have been taught, ignore what society has told you, ignore what others expect of you. Look inside yourself and ask, what feels natural to me? When have I felt alive? When have I felt like the real me? No internal judgments or people pleasing. No second guessing or self-criticism, just feelings of engagement and enjoyment. Whenever you feel authentic and genuine, you are headed in the right direction. In the beginning of a new activity, there should be a period of exploration. In relationships, it's called dating. In college, it's called the liberal arts. In business, it's called split testing. After this initial period of exploration, shift your focus to the best solution you found, but keep experimenting occasionally. When you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. By combining your skills, you reduce the level of competition, which makes it easier to stand out. You can shortcut the need for a genetic advantage by rewriting the rules. A good player works hard to win the game everyone else is playing. A great player creates a new game that favors their strengths and avoids their weaknesses. Specialization is a powerful way to overcome the extent of bad habits. The more you master a specific skill, the harder it becomes for others to compete with you. Even if you're not the most naturally gifted, you can often win by being the best in a very narrow category. In summary, one of the best ways to ensure your habits remain satisfying over the long run is to pick behaviors that align with your personality and skills. Work hard on the things that come easy. Chapter summary. The secret to maximizing your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. Pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. Genes cannot be easily changed, which means they provide a powerful advantage in favorable circumstances and a serious disadvantage in unfavorable circumstances. Habits are easier when they align with your natural abilities. Choose the habits that best suit you. Play a game that favors your strengths. If you can't find a game that favors you, create one. Genes do not eliminate the need for hard work. They clarify it. They tell us what to work hard on. Chapter 19 of Part 6, Advanced Tactics. The Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated in life and work. Goldilocks zone. Maximum motivation occurs when facing a challenge of just manageable difficulty. The human brain loves a challenge, but only if it's within an optimal zone of difficulty. The flow state. When you're starting a new habit, it's important to keep the behavior as easy as possible so you can stick with it, even when conditions aren't perfect. Once a habit has been established, however, it is important to continue to advance in small ways. These little improvements and new challenges keep you engaged, and if you hit a Goldilocks zone just right, you can achieve a flow state, experience of being in the zone and fully immersed in an activity. Variable rewards won't create a craving. That is, you can't take a reward people are uninterested in, giving it to them at a variable interval, and hope it will change their mind. But they are a powerful way to amplify the cravings we already experience, because they reduce boredom. The sweet spot of desire occurs at a 50-50 split between success and failure. Half of the time you get what you want, half of the time you don't. You need just enough winning to experience satisfaction, and just enough wanting to experience desire. This is one of the benefits of following the Goldilocks rule. If you're already interested in a habit, working on challenges of just manageable difficulty is a good way to keep things interesting. Variable rewards are not, no habit will stay interesting forever. At some point, everyone faces the same challenge of the journey of self-improvement. You have to fall in love with boredom. Successful people feel the same lack of motivation as everyone else. The difference is that they still find a way to show up, despite the feelings of boredom. Professionals stick to their schedule, amateurs let life get in the way. There have been lots of sets that James haven't felt like finishing, but James never felt regretted doing the workout. There have been a lot of articles James haven't felt like writing, but James has never felt regretted publishing on schedule. The only way to become excellent is to endlessly fascinated by doing the same thing over and over. You have to fall in love with boredom. Chapter summary. The Goldilocks rule states that human experiences peak motivation from working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. As habits become routine, they become less interesting and less satisfying. We get bored. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It's the ability to keep going when work isn't exciting that makes the difference. Professionals stick to the schedule, amateurs let life get in the way. Chapter 20. The downside of creating good habits. Downside of habits. As a good habit becomes automatic, you become less sensitive to feedback. You fall into mindless repetition. It becomes easier to let mistakes slide. When you can do it good enough on autopilot, you stop thinking about how to do it better. The upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. The downside of habits is that you get used to doing things a certain way and stop paying attention to little errors. You assume they are getting better because you are gaining experience. In reality, you are merely reinforcing your current habits, not improving them. In fact, some research has shown that once a skill has been mastered, there is usually a slight decline in performance over time. Habits plus deliberate practice means mastery. Usually, this minor dip in performance is no cause for worry. You don't need a system to continuously improve how well you brush your teeth, or tie your shoes, or make your morning cup of tea. With habits like these, good enough is usually good enough. The less energy you spend on trivial choices, the more you can spend on what really matters. However, when you want to maximize your potential and achieve elite levels of performance, you need a more nuanced approach. You can't repeat the same things blindly and expect it to become exceptional. Habits are necessary, but not sufficient for mastery. What you need is a combination of automatic habits and deliberate practice. Mastering a field. The process of mastery requires that you progressively layer improvements on top of one another, each habit building upon the last until a new level of performance has been reached and a higher range of skills has been internalized. How to review your habits and make adjustments. Periodic reflection and review is like viewing yourself in the mirror from a conversational distance. You can see the important changes you should make without losing sight of the bigger picture. You want to view the entire mountain range, not obsess over each peak and valley. Finally, reflection and review offers an ideal time to revisit one of the most important aspects of behavioral change, identity. A lack of self-awareness is poison. Reflection and review is the antidote. Progress. What went well this year? What did not go well this year? What did I learn? Identity. 1. What are the core values that drive my life and work? 2. How am I living and working with integrity right now? 3. How can I set a higher standard in the future? How to break the beliefs that hold you back. When working against you, your identity creates a kind of pride that encourages you to deny your weak spots and prevents you from truly growing. This is one of the downsides of building habits. Men are born soft and supple, dead. They are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant, dead. They are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. By Lao Tzu. Military veterans and former entrepreneurs report similar feelings. If your identity is wrapped up in a belief that I'm a great soldier, what happens when your period of service ends? The key to mitigating those losses of identity is to redefine yourself, such as you get to keep important aspects of your identity, even if your particular role changes. I'm an athlete becomes I'm the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physical challenge. I'm a great soldier transforms into I'm the type of person who is disciplined, reliable, and great on the team. Chapter summary. The upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. The downside is that we stop paying attention to little errors. Habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. Reflection and review is a process that allows you to remain conscious of your performance over time. The tighter we cling to an identity, the harder it becomes to grow beyond it.